third grade story for the week is called What Do Illustrators Do? It's a narrative nonfiction, so it's a story, actual events, living things, people. It really happened, and it's told in the narrative form. So they're going to analyze text structure. So we're just going to list the events in a sequence chart of what happens in order. What Do Illustrators Do? Written and illustrated by Eileen Cristello. What do illustrators do? They tell stories with pictures. This picture shows where two illustrators live and work. Suppose those two illustrators each decided to illustrate Jack and the Beanstalk. Would they tell the story the same way? Would they draw the same kinds of pictures? I'm going to retell and illustrate Jack and the Beanstalk. Go lie down, Scooter. I'll take you for a walk later. I've been asked to illustrate Jack and the Beanstalk. Go away, Leonard. First, illustrators decide which scenes in the story they want to illustrate. A plan shows which pictures go on which pages. After illustrators make a plan for their book, they need to make a dummy. A dummy is a model of the book. First, they decide what shape and size the book will be. Then they make sketches of the pictures that will go on each page of the dummy. The first sketches are often rough scribbles on tracing paper. There are so many scenes I want to illustrate, but I need to fit all of Jack and the Beanstalk into 32 pages. That's a tight fit. Are all books 32 pages? Most picture books are. As they are sketching, illustrators need to decide how things will look. The characters, their clothes, the setting. Illustrators can use their imaginations, or they may have to do some research. I'll make Jack look like me in 4th grade. What is the shape of a beanstalk leaf? I imagine Jack lives in a small country cottage surrounded by palm trees. Some illustrators are also authors. They can change their story as they work on the sketches. What does this story have to be about, Jack? It could be about Jacqueline. She could live in this building. The beanstalk could grow on our roof. Hey, Mom, Jacqueline can look like me. That will make her book different from his. This is how we look when we are rough sketches. Each illustration has a different problem. For instance, from what point of view do you draw the magic bean being planted? Should I draw this picture from a bird's eye view? Close up? Far away? A mouse's eye view? The mouse can't see the bean at all. The close-up view, bird's eye view, shows the bean best. There's the mouse. There's the bird's eye view. There's a faraway view. How do you draw a beanstalk so it looks like it's growing? Leonard, stop scratching. Leonard, you give the drawing scale. What is scale? That night, Jack's cat watched as the beanstalk grew. Hey, that's me. The beanstalk is smaller than me, then taller and taller. You are like a measuring stick or a scale. There's usually more than one way to solve the same problem. Wow, Mom, the beanstalk must be enormous. Look at the roots. Those roots are huge compared to Jacqueline. That night on the roof, directly over Jacqueline's bedroom, the magic bean started to grow. It grew and grew and grew. Here's another problem. How do you make a beanstalk look really tall? I could draw Jacqueline looking down the beanstalk or looking up at it. There's looking up at it. There's looking down at it. If the giant doesn't look big enough or scary enough, the illustrator will draw that picture again. Maybe the giant should be bigger than the page. And what would Jack see when he looks up at the giant? There's him looking up. Which picture do you think he should use in this book? There's him. How would it feel to run across a table right under the nose of a sleeping giant? Illustrators need to draw how their characters feel. Sometimes they make faces in a mirror to see how an expression would look. Raised eyebrows, eyes wide open, mouth open. Jacqueline tiptoed across the table. "Hurry up," whispered the hen. "She never sleeps for long." Sometimes illustrators need someone else to model for them. Pretend you're running across the giant's table with the hen. Good. I'll sketch quickly. "Mom, hurry up. Leonard doesn't like being a hen." "Hi, is Leonard here?" "Hi, he's modeling for me. Come on in." Leonard was a golden egg-laying hen. "What are you working on?" "My own version of Jack and the Beanstalk." "So am I." "Oh, no." "Oh, good. Your dummy is different from mine. Different place, different people. And remember, our illustration styles are very different. I like both books." What is style? It's how they draw the illustrations. Each illustrator has a different style of drawing, just as every person has a different style of handwriting. We're trying a new style. The giant, Big Bob. Jack, Jack Trumper. Jack's mom, Ethel Trumper. Jacqueline. All different styles of writing. Different styles for drawing Jack and Jacqueline. They could look so different depending on how you picture them. When illustrators have finished their dummies, they show them to the editor and the designer at the publishing company. The editor decides whether the pictures tell a story. "I love your illustrations, but Jack looks too old at the end of the book. And on page 21, the giant doesn't look mean enough." "Okay, those things should be easy to fix." The designer makes suggestions about the design of the book. She chooses the typeface for the words and the cover. If she loves his book, why does she want him to change it? She's just suggesting ways to make it better. The typeface is the style of font, like how you would type it. We don't have typewriters anymore, but how the computer font looks. Illustrators need to decide how they want to do the finished illustrations. They can draw different kinds of lines and textures with different kinds of tools. I'm trying different kinds of lines. Pencil, pen, brush. So it would look with a pencil. Here's how it would look with a brush. Get it more, a little thicker. Here's a pen with a flexible point. Could make some different kinds of thicknesses there. And then a felt tip pen. You get pretty just straightforward lines. That's how it would look. Same drawing would look so different depending on the kind of pen you use. They can color their illustrations with paint, pastels, pencils, or crayons. They can do an illustration without any black line at all. I'm experimenting. I've tried watercolors, watercolor crayons, and colored pencils. So here's what it would look like with watercolors, paints. Here's the crayons that you can make some darker lines in there. And then colored pencils leave more of lines in there. Not as smooth as the watercolors. Illustrators need to choose the paper they want to use for their finished illustrations. Some papers are good for watercolor, others for pastel, others for pencil. Some are smooth, some are textured. I want a smooth watercolor paper since I'm using pen and ink and watercolor. I want paper with a little more texture. I'm using watercolors and colored pencils. That paper would give a little texture when you put that watercolor on it, besides it just being so smooth. Sometimes illustrators throw away their pictures and start again. Sometimes they change the colors, or they may change the composition. It can take months to finish all the illustrations for a picture book. At last, I've finished all 32 pages and the cover. It looks great, Mom. Before they are sent to the publisher, they need to be checked to make sure nothing is left out. Except here, you forgot the polka dots on Jacqueline's shirt. Oh, phooey. She also forgot to feed me this morning. Don't worry, once they finish the books, they'll pay attention to us again. I'm finished. Me too. Can I see your book? Illustrators often do the cover of the book last. The cover tells a lot about the story. What is it about? Does it look interesting? I like the way your jacket wraps around the book. That's me on the cover. Your cover is terrific. Jack is escaping right out of the border. The cover is a clue to how the illustrator will tell the story. Would these covers make you want to read the books? Yes, I'm going to read them. Let's celebrate.